Hey, it's Don Skaggs with Empowered Inventing, the one place where we try to help you help other people by taking innovation, opportunity, mixing that with some really good wisdom, and to try to turn those things into real things like products and businesses. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about today about how, and I have a lot of inventors that will come to me and ask, Don, how do I know that I have a good idea? Is this a good idea or not? Because a lot of inventors and entrepreneurs wrestle with this, whether it's an idea for a product, you're an inventor, idea for a business or a startup, you're an entrepreneur, if you're both of those things, which I really like, being that entree inventor. But let me back up just a minute and talk to you about something that you're probably real familiar with. And let's say you're in the routine of the middle of your day and suddenly it hits you. Or maybe you were in the middle of the night and you just woke up and it just struck you so much. You was struck with this idea that was just so intense that you had to get up and furiously start writing it all down. Maybe you were watching TV, listening to the radio, surfing the web, and all of a sudden you were seized with this idea, this realization, almost feeling like you'd been given secret information from some unseen, almost like you've been given information from some unseen force. And you've got this idea, and the more you start thinking about it, and the more you start working it out in your head, and maybe you start writing it down, then the more you get excited about it. And you at one point you'll become convinced everybody's going to want one of these things. But you see, that can be the problem. Because what you convinced yourself everybody's going to want one. But you're assuming that everyone is wanting one, and that could be one of the worst mistakes that you can make. So how do you know? How do you know whether you have a good idea? Well, fortunately, here in the 21st century, we have a lot of tools that we didn't have just a few years ago. And some of the best research that I find, and I've always found in business, has been out there in the field. So get out there, number one, get out there and immerse yourself. Total immersion. If you've got an idea, and I've always said this, if you have an idea for a product, say at McDonald's, go get you a part-time job at McDonald's. Get on the inside of that place. Find out what's going on in there. Maybe you don't have to get a job. Maybe just become really good friends with somebody that works there. Or whatever the industry is. That would be McDonald's, and I'm just using that as an example. But get immersed into that industry. Find out what the trade shows are. Go to those things. Or at least get real familiar with all the parts of the website that promote their annual conference that they have or their trade show. Get immersed in that industry, because the more you know who that industry is, who all the players are, and where all the pain points are, the more you're going to know whether you really do have a good idea or not, or maybe how you might need to change your so-called good idea. Now, as I said before, there are great tools out there. There's the best research is out there in the field, but there are a lot of other good tools out there. And one of the best input that you can get, because if you go and you might say, well, hey, I talked to my wife, talked to my husband, I talked to my brother-in-law, I talked to my next door neighbor, they all said it was a great idea. Yeah, well, those all are people that you're in a relationship with that are not going to tell you that your baby is ugly. You could have a just really, really, really ugly baby, and they're still going to say, oh, look at that, isn't he so cute? They're not going to tell you the truth because you have a relationship with him. And even when you're talking to strangers, customers on the street, potential customers on the street, a lot of times they're just going to be polite and they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to say, well, yeah, that's nice, I might buy one of those. And you're saying, oh, that's great input. Well, no, it's not. Because really, truly, the best input you're going to get are people who are voting with their wallets, people who are voting with dollar bills. Those are the best ones. The input with dollar bills attached are the best ones. People will vote honestly with their money. And again, there's a lot of venues out there. There's Kickstarter, there's Indiegogo, there's a lot of crowdfunding sites where you can actually get pre-orders for items, and those work out really well, can work out really well, or they can prove your market and keep you from spending a lot of money on production. So, just remember that your product also could fail. So make it a potential. Make it a cheap fail. If you're going to fail, if you have the possibility to fail, and if you don't have this information yet, you have to face the honesty that this could be a potential failure. So if you're going to have a potential failure, make sure that it's fast and that it's cheap. Use Kickstarter. Use a lot of online tools that are out there, and we teach a lot of these in the classes that we teach online as well. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV. Check us out on our website, empoweredinventing.com, and I will look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, class, or on the next video.